Hello there, welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. I am back today with another round of Coco and Crafts. This month we are doing the Seasonal Branches stamp set. So this is what comes in the kit that you should have already received. You get, of course, the Seasonal Branches stamp set itself. You have the 4 project packets. And of course, Coco and Crafts has got to come with some chocolate. And in this month, you actually have a little bonus because our 3D project, we're going to have, you get a packet of tea and a stick of honey, a honey stick that I picked up at our local farmer's market around our area here. So you have all of these that will be in the kit, and we are going to start with our very first project. Let me move these out of the way. Don't need those right now, or that. Need the chocolate, but no. Here is the card that we are going to make today, and just a simple card, just kind of fun. I like the little sentiment here, and we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Now your kit comes with enough to make 2 cards. I am only going to make 1 here on camera, but go ahead and make, when you're doing yours, stamp everything at once. So do 2 birds, do 2 of everything, and then assemble it all together. It would just make it much faster, much easier for you than doing it one at a time. But for camera purposes, I'm only going to do 1. Now in your one of the envelopes there are some die cut pieces. I'm going to pull those out. Got some birds, some branches, some leaves, and there we go. I'm not sure what happened to my envelope there. It got mangled. So let's start with our stamping. Now I have already I've already put the stamps on most of my blocks. However, I did not put the branch on because I want to make sure there's something a lot of people don't think about when they go to put it on, and then when they go to die cut, which we're not going to do this time, or stamp the coordinating image and they don't line up. Excuse me. This is a photopolymer set, which means it's very flexible. So if you put it on like this, there is a possibility that when you put it down, you're going to end up with it slightly crooked, which is great. There are times when you want to be able to, churn these out so you can get different images. But if you're going to die cut, or if you're going to stamp the coordinating image that is supposed to line up with it perfectly, you will need to make sure that this is in its original position. So the best way to do that is to lay it so that it is faced like that direction and let it come to its natural shape, and then lay your block down on it. And that way, when you go to stamp the leaves or flowers or whatever you're going to do with it, they're going to line up with the branches better. Especially if you're going to die cut this thing out. That's such a close fit that you really want to make sure it's lined up the way it's supposed to. So we're going to start with our stamping. Let's move this out of the way. I do need a scrap piece of paper here because I'm going to stamp off the edges. Pull that out here and go ahead and start. Actually, I'm going to start with my leaves because the last time when I did one of them, I had stamped this first and I didn't get the leaves quite where I wanted them. So I'm going to go ahead and do the leaves first. Now normally I would stamp before I fold, but because one of my branches is actually going to go off the side and I don't want it to necessarily go to the back, I'm going to go ahead and fold it and get that out of the way. So I'm going to start with Garden Green. And this first one I want in this top corner, and I want some of the leaf to go maybe slightly off the top is good, and then down in this area here. There we go. And then the bottom one, it's going to go very similar down in this bottom corner down here. There we go. Oh, since I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my die cut while I'm at it. So if you did not buy the kit, you're going to want to stamp this on green paper and then die cut it out if you have the dies. But with the kit, because I already die cut the piece for you, this is the best way to do it. You can try and do it this way and line it up, and it might actually work. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Because this is green on white, you can actually see the outline. This is photopolymer. I might actually be able to do it this way. There we go. That's not too bad. Slightly off. Sorry, I'm going to put my phone in Do Not Disturb so it doesn't go off while we're doing this. It is slightly off, but another way of doing it is to put this upside down. You will need a second block. take your paper and try and line it up before you set it down. And this one's going to be off too. I can see the stamp right there. And then press down. I definitely prefer to stamp and then die cut, but oh, hey, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Actually, they both work. So there we go. That is the easiest way to do. I prefer to do it the upside down method. Actually, I prefer to stamp it on the paper and then die cut it out, because then I can make sure it doesn't shift. But for this is what you got to do. Okay. Now we got to do the brown. No, while I have that out, I'm going to shade. I'm looking at the card off screen to try and figure out, okay, what's the next step? What should I do next? So my branch is going to go in this general area. And because there was this large open space in the leaves, I kind of wanted it to be green in the background, so it looked like there were more leaves in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fill this space in lightly with some green. And that just gives the illusion that there's more leaves than there actually are. That's actually really good, just like that. Okay, now I'm done with garden green. Get that out of the way. Now we need early espresso. That, actually, while I have it here, I'm going to stamp our sentiment down in this bottom corner. Try not to get my head in your way. There we go. And then that piece is done with the stamping. Now bring this piece back. Nope, that's my envelope. This piece back in, which I forgot to stamp the envelope. I will have to do that. Where'd my branch go? It's right here. Oh boy. Now, when you're stamping this with the leaves, it's designed so that the tip of each of the branches is actually at the base of each of these clusters of leaves. So you kind of want to, excuse me, you want to eyeball. I tried to check this one here and this one down here. Those are the two that if I get those lined up, I'm usually pretty good. Let me turn this so I have a better grip on the block. There we go. My head's going to be in the way. I'm so sorry. And I'm a little bit off. I'm off right there. However, if you happen to have the chocolate chip marker, sorry, early espresso, we used to have a brown called chocolate chip. You can then just kind of make your branch extend it to the leaves. Some of these you're not even going to see because they're going to be behind that crumb cake layer. And let's see if I can do a better job on this one. That one's a little better. Okay. Whoops, wrong end. Connect this one over. Connect that one. There, none of my leaves are floating in the air now. Okay, last stamping is the bird. So I don't need that. I don't need this. Let's get our bird out here. And we're going to go ahead and ink up the bird. I'm using Memento ink because I'm going to come in with watercolor pencils, and the Memento, when it is dry, is water resistant. So it won't pull into, I don't know why I did it upside down. Well, because I'm going to do this upside down. Anyway, if I use brown or any others, when I use the blender pen, it would end up pulling that color in, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm using Memento ink. Okay, so put this on upside down, lay it there, give me a block, make sure it's got a good impression, and yay, we've got us a bird. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and color it. And like I said, I'm going to use watercolor pencils. I like using these with small detail or with small projects like this because you can get in there, you can get the details in and change it out. birds can really be any color that you want them to be. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here for you. Is it on? Is it focused? There we go. So I've just colored lightly with the gray on here. Then I'm going to come in with some blue at the bottom of the wings and the tail. And again, I'm just picking colors that I like. Let's go with the Cajun Craze at the bottom of the belly. This is like my favorite way to do the bellies. I do Cajun Craze down here at the bottom, and then a little bit of crushed curry right above that. And I don't know if you can see, I'm just kind of scribbling it in there. And then I'm going to come in with the blender pens. Do I have one? Is this the right one? Yes. Yes. This end has gray on it, so I'm going to, gray and blues, I'm going to pull those together. Blend it. And then this end I'm going to do the belly. As you can see, as I pull it up to the rest of the belly, it just softens that color up. Ta-da! Pull a little bit on the beak. And that part is done. And while I have the blender pens out, another step I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to come in here, and remember I said that if I had done that in brown or any other color, when you touch it, when you touch our water-based colors with this blender pen, it will bleed those colors out. So here I'm using the color of the outline of my leaves. I'm using the blender pen to just bleed that color into the leaves. Now I'm not going to bother coloring these ones over here because they're going to be underneath my panel. Let me see. Yep. So then I need to do these up here. Get those colored in. I like that this goes pretty quickly, but I like the effect. It's really pretty. Alright, I don't think any of the others are going to show. No. So there is that. Now we are ready, almost ready to assemble. One other step I'm going to do is I prefer my bird to not have an outline around it. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut around this bird really quickly. I'm going to fussy cut this part. Oh, come here. I actually recorded this video 2 days ago, and then when I went to do the editing, I deleted it. I deleted the whole video right off my memory card. And yeah, so this is take 2 of this card. So I don't know, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you may not have actually heard it yet because I just deleted that video. Anyway, so I've got this cut out, but as you can see there is some white between his feet right here. Now if he were going on a white card, that wouldn't have been a big deal, but it's going on the background, and so that white is actually going to kind of show. So what I'm going to do is take my blender pen, since I have this out. Now if I had a marker I could just use the marker, but I already have this out. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this garden green color, and I'm going to color in that space between his feet. And now it doesn't show. It's going to disappear into the background there. So that's an easy fix for that. So let's go ahead and assemble. We need our adhesive. I feel like I'm kind of rushing through this video, but that's partially because my husband is currently out running errands and I'm trying to finish it before he comes home, and I'm not sure when he's going to get back. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I don't want him to pop in right in the middle of the video. If he does, no big deal, but there we go. That's not straight, is it? It is not. Let me see if I can fix that. Oh, and I already burnished down. Oh, but it's coming off. Yay! Okay, let's try that again. that was definitely not straight. Now it looks like it's straight. Oh, but I'm not. There we go. Is that better? That's better. Burnish again. Now, when I cut out your branches for you, I put adhesive sheets on the back to make it easy to adhere. So all you have to do is peel the backing off, which easier said than done. Oh, hey, the tip of my branches. There we go. Peel that backing off. And then I'm having mine start at the edge of the card right here, and then going up into that green. There we go. And then the leaves, I'll pick this branch, this set here. Where'd my glue go? I might be using fine tip glue pen today because my multi-purpose has walked away from my desk. So let's put some fine tip on here. I don't usually like using this for my bigger stuff. Not that it doesn't work fine, but I prefer the multi-purpose. I don't know why. Alright, just going to lay this down. I'm going to grab a block. Might even grab two to give it some weight. Make sure it stays. Close up my glue. After I hang up or finish this, I'm going to have to go find what happened to my multi-purpose glue. So on my bird, I'm going to give it a little bit of shape just by folding his body. Just giving a little curve there. Oh, I just realized I'm still zoomed in. Alright, let me back up for you. There we go. I hope that wasn't like really a mess the whole time. We'll see. We might be doing this a third time. So I'm going to use just a little mini dimensional at the top of his body. And then I'm going to come in with a glue dot for the feet. Because I want the top of the body to be dimensional, but I want his feet to actually attach to the branch. I don't want his feet floating in the air. So we're going to have him be dimensional here. There we go. That should be dry. Pick a branch. Let's see, where do I want him to go? I think he's going to go right here. And see, now his feet are attached, but his body is dimensional there. It's kind of popped up a little. And I have forgotten, I didn't stamp my envelope, but you can see how I stamped this one here. I did the same thing as we did here. Stamped the leaves, stamped the branch, and then I used the blender pen to blend in the colors of the leaves. And there we have our first card made. And I like this. It has, it's not necessarily a sympathy card. It could be a get well card. It could be a lot of different things. But these are the kind of cards that we don't often want to have to give, but they are needed. So I do like this sentiment that we have on here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this project, and until, well, next week we'll be back with project number 2. But until then, until next time, God's love and blessings to you. Bye!